Sova, you're again forfeiting over the intel gathering, but what can you do to deny information from the other side when they're going to have that, again, quote unquote, natural advantage, if you want to call it that? As you see, that is indeed what will happen here. The expected rosters and agents will be what they bring to the table on both sides. KOLER as well. I think there's been a lot of discussion about, okay, KOLER, we know what you're going to do with this run it back defensively. You're going to use it in the first 30 seconds. You're going to run out the middle of the map. And at best, you kind of feel like it's going to find maybe a kill or two. But let's be honest, I feel like a lot of the time it just kind of comes away with not a lot of consideration for the other side.
That's certainly a point worth making on some of the maps that we saw. Notably, Ascent, I think, was a key thing. But what you have to bear in mind is that they did beat FaZe Clan 13-7 on this map. So the strategy of bombing it down mid with the Phoenix tended to work for the majority of cases. They are going to be defending first, so I imagine we're going to be seeing that a lot. And speaking of mid, there is a triple stack there waiting to push on through. And without that recon bolt, it is going to be kind of awkward for BC to sort of spot it. But what they don't have with recon abilities, they have with sheer force, brutality, and of course, that breach. It's going to be really tough to take some of these attacking rounds from beastcoast, so NRG better be prepped.
We'll see if they can respond here. It's going to be an aggressive look for NRG up the middle of the map. Sentry turret will be placed and instantly deleted. With that, beastcoast looking to come through. TiGG's able to find a nice headshot. Flashpoint on the wall will allow for a secondary peek, but beastcoast, they've got what they came for. They get first blood, and they're going to recognize, hey, we've counted at least 3 members mid-map. Let's just go ahead and immediately get onto A. They're going to get here before NRG can really do too much. daps is on the site, but will be denied entry by the paint shells. And so as he and Sam just start to spam through, they'll hit this in a 2-for-2 split fashion.
They are going to be met in by jammyz from the Viper to the Jett now. He would love to have a great game to show off his potential, really. Not only as a smart Viper player, but as an absolute fragging monster, too. Nice play from daps to just sort of hop down. 3 versus 2. The defuse is looking to be stuck because of the awkward position it is. TiGG get some damage in. It's halfway done. It's a 1 versus 2. He's going to try and take the fight. Nice one onto Som, but wasn't sure where daps was. He was a masterclass player in that kind of clutch. And I love the little hop down from heaven. NRG take the 1-0 lead.
Not bad for beastcoast, though, again, to recognize what NRG wanted to do. They do get the spike planted, and they come away with 4 kills. So, again, it's not the worst pistol we've ever seen in our lives, but obviously not the best. So, with that kind of in mind for NRG, they're going to go into SMGs and a Bulldog, but this is what I was curious about, and what I was trying to hopefully time up by phrasing was to see if beastcoast with the plant and the 4 kills would go into a 4 spy. It looks like we will get our answer as they do purchase all the way up.
No, well, it's a hefty one for beastcoast, I suppose. The dedication, even the Marshall, is a concerning factor. But on attacking rounds, it's probably good to just try and put that pressure on. But NRG are responding fire with fire. The spray is a bit of an awkward one for KOLER. He does take a little bit of damage, but not really enough to be considered lethal. jammyz now has control of the spike. Is honestly wanting to usher away eeiu from this position if he can. He's managed to pick it up. And TiGG has managed to pick up a kill onto daps. They're going to see.
Yeah, it's a really big pickup here. NRG recognized very quickly after the spam shots of the SMGs came to the, hey, this is a 4 spot. We can't necessarily push all that far forward. And while they were tracking backwards, beastcoast gained possession of the C site. So another forced retake could have to come through here for NRG. They're going to be late to this, though, because their main intel gatherer of eeiu is all the way over towards A. So they have to essentially wait for him to get here before they can use anything to try to clear things out. He's got a recon bolt as well as an Aldra, but this is going to take some time to really kind of flesh out where exactly beastcoast are positioned. So as they try to make their way forward, curveball's going to come out for KOLER. TiGG, who's just sitting on top of the box, will be hit by the paranoia. Is there going to be help enough for him to stay alive? So far, the answer is yes, but the second curveball comes through. KOLER finds 1. effys there for an immediate trade, and eeiu another kill. Last player left is bdog with the Marshall. Hits once, hits twice, hits 3 times. bdog clutches up.
bdog with the Marshall. And that was a really good retake. Like, I felt bad for TiGG because he was facing into the big box on C. He got paranoid, the recon ball gives up the position, and then when he's ready to try and face it, gets flashed by KOLER. I think jammyz, YaBoiDre were able to get quite a lot of damage in, but I love this. The body shot confirms it with another. You have eeiu being relatively low. Nice clutch, and the aggressive play from beastcoast working out dividends.
Cut their walls down.
Wow, nice shots from bdog. So now all of a sudden you have this Marshall for another round, which is going to feel strange. But again, NRG losing the round will not really have a chance to purchase up. But jammyz with a Bladestorm will have probably the highest kill potential in the lobby at the moment. Som, who's pushed up aggressively through A long, has at least cleared up this part of the map. And you can hear a lot of footsteps nearby. And with the flash coming through, he's going to have an opportunity to find Elevate. Big pick up there. He'll come across, get himself a Phantom, and then get out of dodge.
KOLER was considering peeking as well, just to sort of see if he can catch off beastcoast in that spot. They're going to rotate all the way from A. They're expecting another C hit, and they would be expecting right. A turret gets planted, which I think was the cue for effys to expect a play to come through. The utility is going to miss, but he's going to also miss his shots. The Bladestorm does manage to get that frag in from jammyz. NRG are going to come in to try and help with the rescue. jammyz gets 2 before taken down.
But eeiu getting this rifle. He's made good use of it. Finds himself 2 kills, looking for number 3. How about the 4th? Yes, sir! eeiu with the 4K. NRG, hold on. Spike never planted. 2-1 the tally in favor of our defenders.
Are we going to see beastcoast force here? They might not even need to. The money seems pretty decent for a couple of them at least. TiGG, not so much. It might just be a case of buy it what you can, or try to sort of save up that you can buy fully next round. If you've got the cash to get something decent now, then go for it. NRG, though, maintain their lead. And they also have 2 ultimates to boot. There is a Killjoy ultimate on the side for beastcoast on this attack. But they are going to be playing on their own, leaning on C, sorry. And it's only effys keeping an eye on that over there.
Nice shot for Som. Second flash will come through, but he'll tailwind to safety. Paint shells were also tossed. And beastcoast will be out. Now to a 4v5. Down what? Oh, just 1 flash. Okay, I thought I saw a second one come through. Just 1 flash and the paint shells was spent. But again, they're going to be pretty hard-pressed to find a way in. They might have to just force the lockdown to see if they can clear some space just to gain entry of a site.
YaBoiDre is going to get a lot of information much earlier than eeiu maybe expected at this point. Fully flashed, uses a shock dart, still has a recon, but he's just going to sit back and save it. beastcoast are actually going to go through, but nobody spots KOLER lurking in. eeiu is going to take a lot of pressure in, and there's going to be a lot of this battle going on A-Link. Somno has a nice little angle before both of them are taken out. beastcoast can upgrade the guns. A-site is fairly clear at least, but they just need to watch this lurk from daps. They are very much surrounded.
Yeah, without the lockdown being here, this is not as easy of a 2v3 as you would hope for. It is still very doable, but they might be forced to have to plant at B. And based on the defensive positions right now, there's no good exit for the side of beastcoast. They're going to have to hold on to this site just from inside itself. Dre's going to plant this safely, closer towards the C link. effys is lurking right near bdog. This 1v1 could be the entire round one way or the other. Shrouded Step will come through, and bdog bamboozles effys. 3 kills for him, and now it's down to a 2v2.
Even I was like, where did he go? I was just sort of expecting him to go right into the sightline. It worked out perfectly. KOLER is going to try and bring this into a 2 versus 1. The blaze is good. The flash is going to be even better. bdog now has to try and clutch up, but the flashes are too good from KOLER. It was such a nice attempt from beastcoast there in the end, but NRG are going to be able to go in for the defuse. They get the neural theft. They get the run it back in the process. But not a bad run for beastcoast, considering the buy wasn't the biggest from them.
No, not at all. You're very happy with that, I think, if you're beastcoast. Now you're going into a full purchase the round following. The only problem is with NRG taking 3 out of the first 4, they've already got Som again to a position where he can keep affording the operator. Maybe it was picked up. Kind of hard to tell. I didn't see if anyone found it on the ground or not. But regardless, he's going to have that threat once again established. And beyond that, 4 ultimates for NRG coming into this gun round.
Might only need a couple of good ones for beastcoast, though. A solid lockdown to take space would be ideal, but the Hunter's Fury actually used very quickly. This isn't the first time that eeiu's managed to do that, and it's certainly not the first time that someone's getting first blood with the operator. bdog is out for this round, at least on the server. beastcoast at this point haven't really done too much before KOLER's able to get some more damage in, gets traded up by Dre.
Yeah, that's aggression on all fronts there for NRG. Blitzkrieging their way into round 5, but They do get 1 kill in response for Beast Coast, so this is still a very doable 3v4, especially when you consider the ultimates that are available for both sides now. The lockdown has no chance to be countered by the Hunter's Fury. You still have a showstopper that could be an instant kill, so this is still extremely possible. There's the lockdown placed over to A. The spike is here with it, and jammyz finds
jammyz.
alert kill through C garage. That's a 3v3. And interestingly enough, Beast Coast with that kill are not just going to immediately push onto A. They're waiting for a bit. And the timing of these ultimates is very strange, but it still will allow for a plant to come through. The problem is you already have a contested up top.
It was more that eeiu wasn't quite sure if it was a bait or not. That kill onto jammyz makes him a bit of space, but the showstopper just brings it back to earth. Som is going to be sky high. Bladestorm is going to be out. The Eldron is going to be the one that sort of gets as much information as possible. Post-plant positions are very aggressive for Beast Coast. Som probably going to be doing some theatrics to maybe get this kill. Throws the gun down to bait, but it doesn't quite work. Dre's got it under control.
effys, though, is good for 1. Can't snap to the second. Dre will clean up 3 total in the round. Yeah, theatrics is saying it plainly, I would say there, Ryan, based on how he's able to get that one going.
I don't think the simple, like, gun throw play works as well, but it was worth a try.
Oh, you gotta respect the effort. Both teams will still be able to mostly purchase behind this round as well, so we still have a pivotal 6th round coming up here where NRG still have a small ultimate advantage as well.
But still, it feels like we've been in Haven forever with these two teams. Completely opposite to FaZe that was very quick matchups. These have been a lot more tailored to a long engagement, but it's there. Here it is. The KOLER run down mid with the ultimate play. You could scratch that off your bingo card at this point. He does get a bit of information, and it is forcing Beast Coast to at least push towards C with a bit of Fura. eeiu is going to shock that at least to try and take a couple of fights and sort of slow down the pace, but that's all it's really going to do.
And eeiu actually gets tagged up extremely heavily. They'll juggle some weapons on the C site for right now, as effys is going to play close. He would rather have the Phantom than the Vandal by the look of it. But this is fine. Beast Coast, they're not going to be aware that they confirmed damage, but it will, with that tag up happening, force NRG to continue to stack a little bit more heavily to C. And the spike is looking to set up a design play to A in the near future. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Beast Coast have had to sort of reset almost. Now NRG are going to take some of that space themselves. The alarm bot actually going to show, maybe push them back a little bit. A lot of utility kind of used just to make sure the Beast Coast don't counter-attack, but the paranoia does come through. It misses KOLER. He's not really sure what's behind him at this point, but the fault line is going to be good. effys is still on this side trying to take these fights. KOLER falls, and so does effys.
Down to now a 2v5 situation. A very clean execute for Beast Coast, and NRG are going to essentially sit there and say, golf clap, good for you. We'll give you the round, and we'll just continue this one as a 3-3 tally is in our future.
jammyz
No charges left.
standing up tall on top of the boxes. NRG are going to be nowhere near this. What's the economy like for them going into this next round? Not great. Not ideal. The prognosis is that it's not ideal, but Beast Coast can at least bring it 3-all. These rounds have been so long, though. Like, it's another round that's pretty much gone the distance with both of these teams, like 2-minute rounds each. And it's kind of interesting to see, you know, we watched FaZe, and FaZe really dictated the tempo in the games that they played, certainly on this map. NRG are quite happy to play up against a slow, methodical approach, but so Beast Coast. I'm actually quite impressed that the mind games, this chess game that's developing in front of us, is actually better suited to both squads, and so far there's very little to separate them.
No force buy for NRG really behind this Vandal and this Phantom they picked up. It's just going to be a little bit of a light buy coming through with a couple of pistol upgrades and a Spectre. So now coming forward, another round that Beast Coast, you figure, has the advantage in, just based on not only the weapons, but the fact that they also have a Rolling Thunder that could be spent here for a clean take. But if they could do it cleanly, their economy is really going to allow them to start snowballing the mid stages of this first half. But take a look as NRG get aggressive through C long. They actually fully commit for this, and I thought for a second Som would just try to sit here and play his life, but he's going to back up as they recognize that Beast Coast is starting to threaten immediately over to B. Paranoia will connect onto effys as he has to give up the angle, but again, Beast Coast is showing presence and force, but then just immediately back up. The chess game continues.
KOLER takes a little bit of damage though and is going to blaze wall across. No flashes to get a nice little play out of them. All 5 players from NRG bolstering the B site. beastcoast yet again are going to slow down, reset, set up the play. Rolling Thunder would be really cool right about now. But also it'd be nice to see that from the shadows to come out to peek out the back of the C site. It seems that NRG have mostly tried to face as these executes have come in. Might be a great way to make sure that eeiu, when peeking, has to turn around, gets caught by a paranoia, and get pulled apart.
Hey, you called it, you wanted it, there it is. Aftershock will flush out the position from boxes. Recon bolt placed just in the backside to try to play for any information, but here's the Rolling Thunder. KOLER, can he be good? Tap, 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 not good enough. Dre, jammyz, TiGG all come away with a 3-for-2 trade, but daps on the site has made life a little bit more difficult, but everything said after that will now come down just to effys. Sees the weapon nearby and will unfortunately be forced to still take the engagement with the frenzy. And that'll be enough for beastcoast to take the expected round relatively cleanly, up 4-3.
It's really cool when those plays come out. Like, it's not so much, oh, I love it when I'm right, I love it when I call it, but it's still nice to sort of see that that was the idea that beastcoast had, NRG. I mean, we saw FaZe do that a lot as well, where they had Marved on C, and it's just, you see those ultimates. If I'm not a pro player, but if I'm playing on C and I see the kind of stuff, I'm wanting to play retake, I'm probably giving it a good amount of respect and space. So I'm curious to see if in the future there isn't many defending rounds left for NRG, so it's not likely to see those ultimates, but interesting to certainly consider for the future.
Yeah.
Because the play is super strong. Just pulling you away, forcing you to turn around to kill a shade of an Omen as he teleports in. If you don't, he will just, dedicate to it and kill you.
beastcoast looking to maybe actually execute on to the B site for the first time. And double nanostorms will be placed immediately on top of the default plant position. eeiu can't really find too much chip damage with the shock dart through. So really the retake, you're looking at KOLER right now. He's trying to play through A lobby. And as eeiu will confirm that there are no members actually on the B site, KOLER is going to recognize that he has to make a play. The problem here is that Elevate is watching this push through.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to come down to this timing of if he actually checks his far left, he will not. Easy shots there. beastcoast in a great spot for the post plant. Even beyond that, jammyz finds another kill. Som's going to get up top, so he can find an angle, but a great fault line is placed. Now the nanostorms could potentially come through. It's the paint shells first. That'll find the kill. Aftershock going to come out afterwards, and NRG will have no chance at this.
One by one, they're falling. Even Som, if he can get some kills, or at least take a couple players with him. Elevate's like, come on, guys. But I love the fact that beastcoast recognized the risk of planting on B, how easy it is for NRG to collapse in from you, from flanks, from garage, for example. They made sure they had an eye on everything. And I also really like TiGG's turret that he puts in that position, a position where typically a player might play from there to sort of spam in. But you jump up onto the high box with the Omen or the Jett, you see that turret, you're automatically going to shoot it. You're just conditioned to, and it might provide somebody else a nice little crossfire to kill you. So it's just a subtle little thing. Didn't really make too much difference, but beastcoast, I feel now are starting to play the smart Valorant that they want to play that we didn't really get to see on Split, and it's starting to work out really well against NRG here.
Yeah, there are moments of it on Split, but not to this level. The execution has been near perfect in a lot of these plays that we've seen set up for beastcoast, as now NRG again off the pistols in this eco round are looking to get aggressive. The initial play will be denied through C garage, and with the cloudburst expiring, that should lead to a free kill for jammyz, and it does. So now a 5v3, and interestingly enough, this is going to be hit over to A. daps is here. Not going to be able to find the first couple of shots, so now it's down to effys to hold. Not going to get anything either as Elevate doubles up onto both, and it will be a plant here for beastcoast. eeiu will make things a little interesting, but rather anticlimactic as we'll go to a 6-3.
The aggression coming out beastcoast there. Like, we've seen very slow, methodical rounds. We've seen just gun-ho, I am speed, holding W. They were playing up against the Nico, so that's probably one of the reasons why. YaBoiDre and jammyz, 10 and 9 frags, starting to lead by example with this double duelist. KOLER, not a terrible game, to say the least. Som is doing... It's lukewarm, I suppose. It's 3 rounds on this defense, but the last few rounds have been all beastcoast at this point. It is going to be a full buy. Some of the operators going to be peeking down A long into a lot of players, and the Hunter's Fury yet again used very early from eeiu.
Not going to find much of anything. Som is going to updraft up top, and the Bladestorm that was used offensively for beastcoast was trying to find the immediate trade. KOLER once again getting aggressive defensively. That's a kill on the B window. And if Sam misses another angle, Cloudburst will deny a second chance. So Beast Coast will actually have an advantage here by numbers. And with this, a good look at the C site is there's nobody actually here. It's just daps that's nearby. You're going to get the showstopper to open things up for Dre as he double blast packs in. Aftershock will flush out the left. Dre will send that to the right, but daps is good to at least find one. That'll stall the plant for a touch, but the site will still be taken by Beast Coast as they get the spike planted.
Daps might have done enough, to be honest, though. The kill trip's working out better, knowing that C was going to be hit very hard because that's the way that Beast Coast like to play. This retake is going to be tough. You've got effys with the From the Shadows, but he's half health. So I'm winding up the wall bang. Ooh, not quite, but close enough. He's going to look back at that and go, how?
Right?
It was, what, 6 damage? It can't have been from that. He must have missed.
No
we
chance.
must have seen it later. Unless it's unwall bangable from the operator, which... But, like, I guess it's more of a case of just KOLER getting caught out and Beast Coast facing on A long. They know that the operator's there, but it anchors Som into that position. Now, he has to commit to holding down that angle because he knows that members of Beast Coast have potentially made their way across, that they're still there ready to attack. They put NRG into a tricky spot. daps at least tries to counter it by having the kill trips. And what I mean by kill trips is like the tripwires on the site, but use when he's smoked off on angles. Those tripwires get tripped up. The player that gets tripped lights up. It's an easy kill for daps. He was able to do that. But it was an immediate follow-up from jammyz there. Some really nice play. But NRG now are starting to struggle, and they're thinking, oh no, it's like FaZe all over again. And there's a bit of a lead starting to build on the side of BC.
Som, is he up for one? Maybe a collat? Nope, not gonna happen. Dark cover comes through, that'll shrug him back, but he at least is able to save the tailwind. Updraft up top. Information will be none. Flash comes through, has to take a shot, backs away. Now again, Beast Coast looking to execute. It's going to be the lockdown plays. daps trying to sit through. He's almost good for 2. That would have also resulted in the lockdown being denied, but Beast Coast will go 1 for 1, and like that, they will also get the A spike planted.
Spike planted.
Recon Bolt is ready to go for eeiu when he wants to try and retake this site. There's not too much stress coming out as the Killjoy just creates space. Nobody's detained. The Eldron is going to be the next on the list of intel grabbers. Sees the player playing on site and gets the info that there's 2 players underneath hell. That's big. If the Rolling Thunder is actually going to be used because that information was so key, but a couple of kills traded out.
And eeiu on the site will find one more through the Cloudburst. Is not good enough for Dre to find that kill, and TiGG cleaning things up. 8-3. And this has been, what, 8 rounds in a row? At least 7 in a row here. Yeah, 7 in a row here for Beast Coast. And going into the last round of the half, that's looking like it will be 8 in a row because NRG are going to force buy into pretty much nothing.
3 rounds only so far for NRG. KOLER has a run it back. It seems that he might be looking to make a garage play instead of play. It's still mid, but you get is a sort of different take. He looks like he's going to use it straight away because he is behind a box. He's protected. And this, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of easy to read for Beast Coast because they have just backed off completely.
I just don't. The more I see it, and I hate to come off overcritical because KOLER could smack me around Valorant all day long. It's
jacked,
just,
yeah.
I don't understand the play. Like, I really need to ask him, what is the idea behind this? Because I feel like 90% of the time it comes away with nothing.
I mean, nothing really bad happens at this point. It's not a complete detriment. It slowed down Beast Coast, but they're quite happy to sort of play at this level.
And it just feels like it's a tool that could be well used for a retake, which NRG have struggled with so far this half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm curious to know what other people think about it, really. Like, I don't want to just... I don't feel like it is just as one-dimensional as it seems.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be curious to see what NRG do with it in the future or what their win condition with that ultimate is. They also use the Hunter's Fury very quickly, too. But an ultimate is going to be used from the shadows, actually over to B on the defense, but then broken apart. So that's one extra body not on the site. Som has a nice little position, and the Blade Storm is going to be used, but he can't get the kill on to elevate. And it's another retake on the side of NRG, but it's a 2 versus 3. The spike is being planted in a really awkward angle, and Paranoia is still available. This would be a nice time to have that run it back.
Yeah, sure would. Hot hands over the top. Aftershock coming through. And the hot hands will confirm the low HP of Elevate. effys getting a lot of damage done. Has a look at this 1v2, but jammyz will be the one to convert. And with that, Beast Coast will be up 9-3 off of an offensive half. And I mentioned before we got into this Haven that they just previously beat Luminosity here 13-2. They found 10 rounds on their attack versus them there. So it'll just be interesting to see what these guys have to pan out for when it comes down to a defense, as they'll be forced to try to close things out there.
Yeah, it just felt the Beast Coast did a really good sort of play on the attacking half. NRG didn't look bad at all against FaZe Clan on this side either. Like, there's going to be, like, I think there's just going to be a lot of aggressive plays that come out. But it's just the difference in the two maps. Like, I feel like Split seems to lend itself to Beast Coast's way of playing, but it just didn't really come off that way because the economy was never really on their side. This is what happens when they can have it, but it seems to be a similar thing for NRG. These three teams that we've mostly casted today suffering from the same ailment, and the changes to the economy as well that was in a recent patch are doing nothing to help these guys either. So it just seems even more brutal from these qualifiers that we've seen.
Yeah. Big pistol here for NRG. Aldrin will be sent through short side of A. And that's actually really good damage on the TiGG. A headshot connected, but they couldn't confirm the full kill. Now the curveball's out. Double nanostorms will stall for a moment. This is going to be a commitment for NRG. They're fully onto the site. The spike is also here. And with this TiGG in the corner is good for one. Elevate another as he doubles up. And even if NRG can clean up the site, you've got jammyz on the long flank, and both members for this offense are tragically low HP. They will get the read on one into the corner. And if they can get one more potential read on a player from the flank or on the site itself, it could be good. But here comes the Cloudburst and the peaks. Spike will go down, but daps will fall shortly after.
Yeah, trying to sneak his way across. jammyz has been playing a lot better. I think that's another thing that Beast Coast have had really going for them. Question is now, if you're NRG, you've brought this down to 2 players surviving on Beast Coast. Do you force, knowing that if you lose, you have to save, you put Beast Coast on match point? It seems like they're not touching the buy menu at all. Maybe, no, they are actually going to be playing for it. I don't inherently think that's a bad move at all. We already saw Beast Coast do a similar thing after NRG won the pistol initially, and it worked out pretty well.
Well, it's going to have to work out extremely well here as well. So the force buy coming through. What's the set play here for NRG? They're going to throw the Cypher over to A just to try to make a little bit of noise by the look of it. Spy cam will go down. The cyber cage was also tossed, but they saved the camera. And everybody else from NRG are looking to hit through C garage. There is nobody here defensively, at least not for right now. YaBoiDre started to make his way over. So is Elevate. They will be here to deny a push through, but will they be here in time to help out the defense on the site itself? No one's checking the C garage alley. Hello? KOLER just walks right on in. effys finds another kill, and NRG of all 5 still alive for the site's plan at C.
They get completely sidestruck there. Nobody watching that entrance. But no utilities from NRG. They just walked through garage, and they didn't give away that position at all. So it works out really well for them. Beast Coast not really checking some of these blind spots. And it worked out perfectly for NRG. Flawless too, so their economy is going to thank them even more for that. Beast Coast wondering what they did wrong. Are they going to force up now, knowing that they are 6 rounds ahead? It's not really worth it, is it? Just give this other one to NRG. Just hope that you can kill some of these guns. But the fact that that was a flawless force means that even if you do take some of these guns out of NRG's hands, they're just going to buy up for the next round.
Yeah, NRG are fine with whatever happens this round as long as they win it. Really is what it comes down to. So 4-10 the tally, looking like 5-10 on the horizon here. Beast Coast gonna stack heavy into the mid. Show of force through C long. Those footsteps will be heard by jammyz, but the Aldrin will come through, and that will likely scout jammyz out. Although the dart misses, so as he finesses his way over into the dark cover, this shorty could be in a potential spot to find value, but NRG are going to realize that there are at least 2 members over at C, and they're going to rotate back over to maybe even help out with daps. TiGG is going to hear all of this rotation, though. And behind that, they're going to isolate and get a kill on eeiu.
Nice.
This is a great pickup for Beast Coast.
Yeah, it was just a 2-pronged attack. You've got the breach sort of acting as bait there in that fight, but KOLER is going to bring it very quickly to a 4 versus 4. Going to be a tricky retake for beastcoast. They're not particularly planning to wrap around. They've got one in heaven, the rest are free, pushing through a link or yellow if you want to call it that. Som gets missed by the fault line. He's still going to be holding his own. KOLER dodging all of this utility, going to face forward, but TiGG actually getting the kill. jammyz with the shorty. This is working out terrifically for beastcoast.
Incredibly well. Diffuse is going to come through. There's really no way you stop this. effys is only good for 1 kill. And beastcoast,
Wow.
take away a thrifty. Should have been, right? All they built was a shorty. The game's going to deny him the luxury, but damn.
I was going to say, is that silly in that case if you're NRG to try and face, knowing that you're going up against some form of eco? The fact that the shorty got the kill from jammyz was the most surprising factor to me, but it was more of an addition, like the icing on the cake more than anything. But with the amount of utility thrown out, I'm just a bit like concerned if you were to face into that you would just get overrun, especially with that amount of bodies still left in the server. It's a tricky one. NRG still, money is fine. They're going to be okay for now at least. They have it from the shuttles, but not much else to work with. KOLER is 1 away from having to run it back. We've kind of memed on it a little bit on the defense, but on the attack, it's been pretty effective in the FaZe clan game. You would expect to hope to see more of the same.
And it's just another instance just to finalize and put the icing on the cake for that previous round. That's one that you needed for NRG. In 5-10 versus 4-11 is stagnant. So now all of a sudden, you have to cleanly take this round. Otherwise, the game is probably going to be just about over. Lockdown available for TiGG as he hears the plant coming through. Nanostorm will be put down. It just comes down to waiting for some help, and then it looks like will be a retake off the back end of a lockdown.
It's going to get planted. NRG will be forced to move. A lot of players backed up into that little cubby on A long. No, that is not a nice position to be in. It's very congested. It's like a tube station.
Oh, the paint shells is short.
Fault line's going to be good, though.
They know exactly where these players were, and the diffuse will just come through. No one's even going to have a fight. It's all going to happen post. What happened this round? What in the world? I don't think in the entirety of me casting Valorant have I ever seen something quite like that, where a plant and diffuse come through, the round is over before a single shot is fired.
Time out.
And it was a really good lockdown from TiGG. It worked out
Great
perfectly.
Lockdown.
And NRG just weren't really sure how they wanted to play that post plant. I mean, obviously the Hunter's Fury wasn't available for eeiu. He was quite far away from it. What can you do there? Run it back is going to be used. The Bladestorm is going to be on either side pulled out. jammyz is looking to sort of face, but here comes the run it back. The recon ball is going to get smoked off. jammyz position not giving up. But as far as beastcoast are concerned, it was pretty much clear at this point. KOLER is going to run into a 2-pronged attack. But because the ultimate was through, it's just information.
Spike planted.
Spike will go down. Heavy post-play consideration for NRG to the backside of C long. Rolling Thunder is going to come through, but that's the paranoia as well. Everything is being spent, and teleporting away is effys. But now it's down to the diffuse. The knives, they're not quite there. The shots aren't there either. The body blocking in front, and beastcoast will send us to a 3rd map in 2 of the strangest defensive rounds on Haven that I've ever seen.
I think if you're in